I love the Galaxy Book Ion. I got the 15-inch version. I've had it for a couple days now, and every second that I'm looking at the screen or typing on the keyboard or editing videos, I am so happy with my purchase. Before I got it, I was nervous about this device not having a graphics card, about this device being 1080p in 2020. I was nervous about some of the initial impressions of the device with the magnesium case, that it was easy to bend, but having been a long-time Samsung fan, even though I was never able to see this device in person before I bought it, I decided to take a leap of faith and buy it online from their website. And I don't regret a thing. This is an impressive piece of technology, and it belongs in 2020. It's powerful, it's fun to use, it's lightweight. I can finally take this thing anywhere I go. Before, I was locked down to my desktop and I was limited to doing things only in one corner of my room. Before, when I used the Galaxy Tab S4, I used that to take notes in school, but it often came up short. I wasn't able to edit PowerPoints or to do any advanced features on Microsoft Word or Excel. And so I would just wait to go home before I could take advantage of those advanced features, because in the Tab S4 or any Android tablet, you're just limited to the mobile version of those applications. And you're limited to applications. You can't really do anything that's designed for PC. And even if what you need comes in an application like Word or any Office program, you're going to be limited. And so I was nervous about this device not being powerful enough, but after editing a couple videos and after even downloading some games, some light games like City Skylines, I'm actually very impressed. I don't miss not having a graphics card, especially when it is $1,000 more in Hong Kong and East Asia. Unfortunately, the American version is not as powerful, but I don't miss it. And especially given the price tag in those countries, I think being about $1,300 in the United States, it's a great price for this machine. Now, my wife says that it's not really that impressive. It doesn't feel sturdy, and that's okay. To me, I see things a little bit different. Samsung had to make some tough decisions. They left out the graphics card, but that allowed the device to be cheaper. They went with a magnesium body, but that made the device much, much lighter and easy to carry around. But really, while I'm using this device, when it's set up on the table, I don't feel like this is a device of compromises. I actually enjoy it, and I don't really miss anything. I'm coming from a desktop that was 5 years old, had 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM. It had a 2 terabyte hard drive and a 128 gig SSD. This small portable laptop beats that desktop. I can't even believe it. Not only can I take this device anywhere, but this thing is so fast with the SSD and the RAM that I feel like I can actually do more on this device than I could on my desktop. And I had a really good desktop, this Asus. The only bad thing about the Asus is that it was just way too big and I couldn't take it anywhere. But this thing is incredible. It's the perfect balance of power and portability. I am so happy I got this device. Now, of course, there's no such thing as a perfect piece of technology, but this Ultrabook does so many things well that any criticisms I have are minor and have easy workarounds. But I'll name a couple inconveniences. Number one is that there's no dedicated volume button or brightness button. So if you want to lower or raise the volume, you have to do the function key on the bottom left and then press one of the F keys at the top. And so you have to do this if you want to adjust the volume, you want to mute the device, if you want to change the brightness, if you want to turn on the mouse pad charger. I don't know what else to call it. So that's kind of a small annoyance. It's just an extra step, and it's not something I'm really used to, but I'm sure after a while I won't even pay attention anymore. There are some really cool Samsung unique features that you don't really see in other devices, but if you have used any of Samsung's phones, they'll be familiar to you. Of course, the most obvious is the Fingerprint Reader. Now that is in a unique place on the keyboard that you don't find on other laptops. Normally, or at least lately, you'll find the Fingerprint Reader on the power button or on the side, or even on the bottom corner in a place that's easy to reach. So when I saw that this Fingerprint Reader is in the middle of the keyboard, or more closer in the center, I thought it would be hard to reach, but it's really not. It stands out, it has its own unique color, and so I never miss it. And it also reads extremely fast and very accurately. So I don't really miss any Windows Hello features. It's just not needed when you have a great fingerprint reader. And another cool thing is the Samsung settings menu that allows you to tweak the device to give it a little bit more longevity. Now this is something that I don't have on my S8 Plus, my 3-year-old phone, but it is something I had on the Tab S4, and I'm so thankful that they included it in their latest laptop. I'm talking about the Battery Life Extender Plus. Now according to their own description, this functions similarly to just removing the battery from your laptop and powering the laptop just from the AC adapter, which is supposed to extend the physical life of the battery. Now what you'll see is that the maximum battery charge level is limited to 85% in this mode. My tablet had this, and actually modern electric vehicles have this feature built in as well. Every Tesla allows you to manually limit the charge of its lithium-ion battery. And the idea is that if you only utilize the main portion of the battery, in other words, you don't keep the battery fully charged at 100% and just let it sit there, it will last longer. My Chevy Volt didn't allow the driver to charge up beyond 80% or to discharge below 20%. And that's why every Chevy Volt has extremely long battery life. And I expect the same thing here with Samsung. They're known for having great battery life. My S8 Plus still has the same amount of charge as it did the day I got it. And that's very inspiring, and that's hopeful, and that's great for anybody that wants to spend $1,000 without worrying about having to buy another battery, which I had to do on my last laptop that was 10 years old. Another great feature that's unique to the Samsung device is wireless power share. Now you can activate it easily just from the keyboard by pressing Function and F11, and this allows your touchpad to become a wireless charger. Now I have a Qi enabled device. Actually I have two of them. I have my S8 Plus phone, and I have my Galaxy Active Watch 2. And I have separate and specific wireless chargers for both of them. I got my first big wireless Qi charger when I first got my phone. That was $50. It didn't come with the phone. And of course the wireless charger for my watch came with it, but it is kind of annoying having to plug in so many different devices. It would be nice just to have a single wireless pad always available. And if your laptop is set up and you want to charge your watch or your cell phone of any brand, you can simply just tap function and F11 and it'll turn it on, and it will charge from the battery or from the wall. And so I wanted to try this out, and I did a little experiment. So I had my laptop plugged in, set with battery life extender plus, so it was max charge at 85%, and I decided to watch a movie while I charged my phone. So I unplugged it and turned on the wireless charging feature and set down my phone. After 2 hours, my 3-year-old phone, my S8 Plus, went from 15% to 85%. And my laptop went from 85% down to 43%. And this is why, while I had a few Chrome tabs open and watching a movie on YouTube. Now, the fact that I was able to do all of that, not only charge my phone, but also be able to watch a movie on maximum brightness settings while connected to a Bluetooth speaker, and only lose 40% or so with the laptop itself, that's not too bad. I think that's pretty good. This laptop seems to have great battery life, and I will certainly use this feature more in the future. Now, of course, if you are still wanting to get work done while your device is charging on the trackpad, you should invest in a Bluetooth or wireless mouse. I've had mine for a few years. Never really used it all that much because of my desktop. Everything was hidden. But now I brought it back out and I'm using it, and I don't mind that I can't use the trackpad while my device is charging. While the Galaxy Book Ion doesn't come with too impressive storage or RAM specs out of the box, the 8 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM and the 500 gigabyte M.2 NVMe SSD, you can upgrade these on the 15-inch version only. I spent about $60 and I got a 16 gigabyte DDR4 SODIMM stick, and I also got a 1 terabyte SSD that I was able to install by opening up the back. Fair warning though is if you don't have the special tools required to open up very small screws, you run the risk of stripping those screws and making it nearly impossible to open up the back. This is what I did. I was too excited. I only got one screw off, but I ended up stripping all of the other screws and had to take it into a repair shop. It took them only a couple hours and they were able to remove them, and so thankfully I was still able to upgrade, but it is certainly something to keep in mind if you're going to do this at home by yourself. But otherwise, once you get the screws off, you just pop out the back very slowly and methodically without bending that magnesium cover, and you'll find yourself with a much more respectable amount of storage space and memory. So now I'm pretty happy. I have 24 gigs of RAM and 1.5 terabytes of storage. If I need more, I could always get a portable hard drive, or of course upgrade even a few years down the road when 2 terabyte or 4 terabyte SSDs are less expensive. So that is always an option. The Galaxy Book Ion makes no unnecessary compromises. Any downsides are for specific improvements. Its magnesium case, even though it's not as strong as a metal case, was done to make the whole device lighter and more easy to carry around. Its 1080p screen is also there to preserve battery life, and you don't really miss not having a 4K screen when you're on the go or when you're outside just getting some work done. Any active duty military or students or government workers can get the Galaxy Book Ion for 15% off, or in my case, about $150 less than the full price by purchasing through Samsung directly on their website. And now's a great time to buy it because it may be a while before we see an Ultrabook this thin and this powerful. As a final note, the Galaxy Book Ion comes with an included 720p webcam. Now, it's not the greatest, but it's still going to be just fine for all those Zoom conferences that we suddenly find ourselves doing all the time now.